Hi, this is chapter 9.4 and we will see some important documents in GST law. First of all, we will see bill of supply, and the concerned provision is given in section 31 subsection 3c, and you need to read it with the rule 14.9. The following person should issue a bill of supply instead of a tax invoice. So it includes a registered person supplying exempted goods or services, or both. Then a registered person paying tax under composition scheme. So in both these scenarios, they cannot issue a tax invoice. They should issue a bill of supply, and the bill of supply will not include rate of tax, tax amount, etc. It is without tax. So exempted goods or service, there is no tax. As well as composition scheme persons cannot collect tax. So they should issue a bill of supply. Let us take one case study. Mr. Suresh is running a petrol pump. He sells petroleum products. Petrol, high-speed diesel, natural gas, etc. to various customers who are registered or not registered in GST law. These commodities are kept outside the purview of GST. So we had already seen in the early chapter that for petroleum products there is no GST. So he cannot issue a tax invoice and he should issue a bill of supply. Clear? Then it does not matter whether he sells to a registered or unregistered customer. He should issue a bill of supply only, and the customer cannot claim input tax credit. Then let us take the second case study. Mr. Adul is running a Amul outlet selling milk and milk products at Raipur. He sells products to various customers who are registered or not registered in GST law. There is no GST on fresh or pasteurized milk, buttermilk, curd, chana or paneer. So it is exempted goods. So Mr. Adul had to issue bill of supply only. He cannot issue a tax invoice and he cannot collect tax from the customers. As well as non-vegetarian items like eggs, chicken, fresh meat and fresh or chilled fish, fruits, vegetables, as well as a unit container packed frozen branded vegetables, uncooked or steamed, are also exempt. So we had seen, in case of exempted goods or services, there is no GST and you should not issue a tax invoice. As well as if any person has opted for composition scheme, he should issue a bill of supply only. Then, what are the contents of a bill of supply? So it includes name, address and GSTIN of the supplier, a consecutive serial number, date of its issue, name, address and GSTIN or UN of the recipient if he is registered, HSN code of goods and accounting code for services, description of goods or service or both, value of supply of goods or service or both, taking into account discount or abatement if any, as well as signature or digital signature. So please note that taxable value, rate of tax, tax amount, etc. are not appearing in a bill of supply. Then any tax invoice or any other similar document issued under any other act, okay, for the time being in force in respect of any non-taxable supply shall be treated as bill of supply for the purpose of the act. So if any other document prescribed under any other law can be adopted instead of bill of supply. Then invoice cum bill of supply, that is rule 46A. Where a registered taxable person issues both taxable as well as exempted goods or services, he can issue a document that is invoice cum bill of supply. That is the second document in this chapter. Then invoice under RCM. What is RCM? Reverse charge mechanism. So under RCM, you need to make an invoice raised on yourself. Okay, what is RCM? Under section 9 subsection 3 or 9 subsection 4. That is purchasing any goods or services notified by the government or purchase of goods service from a unregistered person. There are many notifications related to it, as well as goods or services are notified. So you need to learn it in another chapter. So in such scenario where RCM is applicable, invoice should be prepared and issued. Clear? Then a payment voucher, the same RCM, or if any payment is made to the supplier, then a document called payment voucher is prepared. And it includes name, address and GSTN of the supplier if registered, a consecutive serial number, date of its issue, name, address of the GSTN or UN if registered of the recipient, description of goods or services, amount paid, rate of tax, that is CGST, SGST or IGST, etc. or any cess if applicable. Then amount of tax payable on list of taxable goods or services, place of supply, as well as signature or digital signature. So all this should be there in a payment voucher. Then let us take a case study to understand it. Senior advocate based in Mumbai supplied legal service. Okay, so who is the supplier? Senior advocate for fees of rupees 2 lakhs to Hindustan Motors. So who is the recipient? It is Hindustan Motors, and they are a business entity located in Mumbai. So we need to identify who is liable to pay GST as well as net GST liability, how much it will be. GST on supply of services as per section 9 subsection 3 include legal services provided by an advocate. So suppose you get any legal service from an advocate. Advocate will not collect any GST from you, but you need to pay GST to the government directly. In RCM, recipient has to pay GST. Okay, so in this legal services supplied by an advocate to any business entity in the taxable territory are covered by entry 2 notification number 13/2017 CGST. So here Hindustan Motors is liable to pay GST and should issue tax invoice as per GST law, but they can claim input tax credit also. Clear? Then coming to the fifth document, that is delivery challan as per rule 55. Delivery challan should be issued in case of the following transactions: transportation of goods for reasons other than by way of supply. Then transportation of goods for job work, supply of liquid gas where the quantity at the time of removal from the place of business of the supplier is not known. Then any other notified supplies. Okay, so in such cases delivery challan should be issued. Clear? So suppose we are moving the goods for any exhibition, not for supply. Okay, then we need to issue a delivery challan. Then delivery challan should be serially numbered, not exceeding 16 characters in one or multiple series at the time of removal of goods for transportation. It should include date and number of the delivery challan, name, address and GSTN of the consignor if registered, name, address and GSTN or unique identification number of the consignee if registered. See, there is no seller or buyer. It is only consignor and consignee. Why? It is not a supply. Clear? And HSN code and description of goods, quantity provisional where the exact quantity being supplied is not known in that case. Then taxable value, tax rate and tax amount also can be mentioned. Place of supply in case of interstate supply from one state to another state, in that case place of supply should be mentioned. Then signature. So these are the contents of the delivery challan, and the delivery challan should be prepared in triplicate. Original copy should be issued to the consignee and issued as original for consignee. The duplicate should be issued to the transporter and it should be issued as duplicate for transporter. Triplicate should be issued to the consignor or should be kept with us. Okay, and it should be mentioned as triplicate for consignor. So in this chapter we had studied bill of supply, invoice cum bill of supply, invoice under RCM, payment voucher as well as delivery challan. Hope you have understood in which situations these documents are used, which are the contents, etc. Thank you.